Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mutiara Ramadhanti, and here I want to explain to you about the novel I have read titled Woman at Point Zero by Nawal El Sadawi. So the story itself based on a real life story from woman named Firdaus who's in prison and waiting to be executed for killing a man. The story is told through the perspectives of female psychiatrist who listens to Firdaus' life story before her execution. So Firdaus was born into a poor Egyptian family and went through so many awful things, like she was abused by her father, she was sexual harassed by her uncle, she was exploited by men she met in her life. So no matter role she played, daughter, student, wife, worker, she was always controlled by men. Eventually, she becomes a sex worker. It is not because someone tell her to do so, but because she's feel like it is the first time she have the control of over her life. She have control of authority over her body and something like that. But that's also taken away from her life because a pimp tries to own her. So that also makes her decided to kill him. And even though she is caught and sentenced to death, she didn't regret anything because Firdaus think that death is her final act of freedom. So the main character here is Firdaus. Honestly, she is the strongest and most powerful characters I have ever read. Her life is full of trauma, but she never completely gives up, even when everything is taken from her. She finds her voice and her strength at the end. So she's very, very brave, I think. And there's also the female psychiatrist who listens to Firdaus' story. And at the beginning, we can see that she seems just like an observer. But when it is come to the end, you can tell by yourself that Firdaus' story really affects her life. She realizes how powerful Firdaus' voice is. And others characters like her father, her uncle, husbands, and the man she meets mostly represent the system that keeps Firdaus down. And the one who pushes her to the edge of her limit, I think, is the pimp, and she ended up killing him. And every one of these characters plays a role in showing how women can be trapped by society, especially when we live in a male-oriented world. So when we want to connect it with moderate feminism, moderate feminism itself is about fighting for equality while still working within some society structures. So it doesn't reject everything, but it questions and challenges for what is unfair. And Firdaus' story is a very great example because she doesn't want to dominate men. She just wants to live with respect, freedom, and control over herself. And she finally speaks out against how women are treated as property, and that's a big feminist issue. She also realizes the power of education and independence, which are the key in feminism, and her rejection of traditional marriage and her choice to work for herself, even as a sex worker. Uh, it's the thing that she thinks that it's her way of taking back power in a world where every other option made her feel powerless. So, in many ways, this novel highlights the core ideas of moderate feminism, like uh, power, control, gender roles, and also freedom. And from this novel, I think what stood out the most to me was how important it is to have a voice, because Firdaus really went through so much thing, but in the end she refused to be silent. She chose to stand up for herself, and she stood by her truth even if it cost her life. And that kind of bravery really inspired me. I think that freedom is also isn't just about physical situation. It's also about how you see yourself. And Firdaus found peace in a world because not because the world changed, but because she changed. Because she decided to speak for her own truth, and she decided that she wouldn't let anyone own her ever again. For me personally, this novel reminded me to stand up for myself, to listen to those who are often ignored, and to never be afraid to question injustice. And Firdaus' story is very heartbreaking story, but it's also a powerful reminder for me myself, and about how strong women can be, even in the darkest moments of her life. So I think that's all from me. Thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.